Before we begin, you want to feel free to join us with your name. You can introduce yourself as we get familiarized with each other. So kindly just write your name in the country you're from or the country you're at, and then you could introduce yourselves, please, so I can get to know you as well. I see we have Naka from Okay, so I see you. Say good evening. I can't hear the presentation. All right. So, good evening from Liberia. Hello to Frederick Owens from Liberia. And I'm saying hello going out to Dr. Gala, I think. I hope I got the name right. And also, um, hello to, yes. Okay, hello to say hello, everyone. I'm Dorothy Steven from Nigeria. It's nice to be here. Thank you so much for joining us, Dorothy. It's a pleasure to have you join us on this webinar. And Lister Tandy, hello from Botswana. Thanks for joining us as well. Good evening. Hello, Brenda. Brenda from Kenya. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on this webinar. And also Karen from Kenya. Hello, Karen. And also Flora from Ghana. Hello, Flora. Frederick, thanks for joining us from Liberia. And George from Zambia. Hello, George. I hope you're doing great. Thanks for joining us on this webinar this morning, this evening, and this afternoon, wherever you are. Right. So a few more introductions and we can just begin. You may possibly have questions, and I'd like for you to drop your questions in the chat box so we can discuss them and address them during our Q&A segment. So please be aware also that this webinar is being recorded for our social media channels. You can find more information on these insightful topics and more at Drive to Inspire Africa on all social platforms, and also get more information on the website. That's www.drive-to-inspire-africa.org. Let me see if I can have a few more introductions, then we can quickly begin. Okay. So if you are joining us from wherever you are, thank you so much. My name is Elvis Crystal, and I'll be your host for today's webinar on public speaking and communication mastery. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you joining us from around the world. We're excited to have you here today. I am particularly excited about this topic, this subject, because I work in media and also the communication space as an actor and a theater enthusiast as well, and media personality. So this particular subject is really exciting for me. I find it really exciting. It's my hope that by the time we're done, you will fetch some knowledge out of this session and more essentially be able to impact your life with this topic and this subject we're going to discuss today. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants joining us globally, welcome to today's webinar, Public Speaking and Communication Mastery. It's one of the most powerful skills any person can develop because the ability to express yourself clearly can transform careers, relationships, leadership, and opportunities. Today promises to be insightful. I can't wait to introduce my astute speaker to you today. And she's going to be handling the subject public speaking and communication mastery, which is why we're here today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to our speaker. So she is a qualified financial accounting and corporate governance professional, holding credentials from the Chartered Governance Institute of Southern Africa, with over 13 years industry experience. Her further education includes programs with South African Wines and Stellenbosch Business School, Africa Minerals College, the Johannesburg Chamber of Commerce, and participation in Africa's Bank Enterprise Supplier Development Program. Her expertise in governance led to international consultancy roles, implementing financial systems for organizations such as MTN Uganda and Vodacom in Tanzania and Congo. She is the founder and group CEO of Luckmo Holdings, comprising Luckmo Wines and Luckmo Minerals, an established bank, Black woman-owned business based in Johannesburg. Luckmo Wines, founded in 2018, was inspired by her passion for storytelling and African heritage, creating unique wine collaborations. Motloung's leadership journey includes graduation from the JCI Japan Leadership Academy, presidency of JCI South Africa, serving as UN Commissioner for Africa and the Middle East, and is being a Mandela Institute for Development Studies alumna. Under her direction, Luckmo Wines has achieved significant impact. Now, one of the things you also will be excited to know is that she started her career as a junior bookkeeper in Morrison Murray and was later appointed as the admin manager for Woolworths Distribution in Durban. You're going to learn a lot from this amazing woman, vexed in communication mastery and public speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome Miss Mmatlali Lucia Motloung. Welcome. Good to see you. I'm sure it's an evening there. Good to see you this evening where you are.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Elvis. Yeah, it's just after 8 o'clock, so it's well good to say it's in the evening now.
Pleasure, pleasure. Um, Interestingly, when I was told about this topic, I felt, oh, wow, this is a very strong subject that I'm really excited about, and I cannot wait to learn more and also add more to what perhaps I already know. And it's my hope that our participants can also learn and also fetch more knowledge in this area. Which, by the way, if they have questions, they can always write these questions in the chat box, and then we'll fetch the questions for interaction later on. Please, you're welcome. And the floor, or the air is yours, if I should say.
I like that. Thank you so much, Elvis, for that wonderful introduction. I would like to take this opportunity to really thank Drive to Inspire for inviting me to your session. I'm really honored to be part and parcel of this great conversations. I followed some of your sessions on YouTube and really like the wonderful work that you're doing, and also give gratitude to the leadership of Mrs. Nana Heckman. And I know here she's the one that invited me and her team as well, led by Anna. So let's get onto it. And I trust that today, as you had asked me, what do I hope to achieve? I really hope to achieve that the ladies that we are speaking to today and everyone else around the globe will really take my story as a simple girl who grew up in the township of Free State in South Africa and really has built what we now seeing as a global brand, really shy, someone extremely shy. I never believed that the world was going to be my oyster, as people tend to say. I never really thought that in my life I will speak in front of the public. And that's what I do every single day, presenting the business and the work that I do with so much passion, grace, and dignity. So I really trust that today we'll have an interactive session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I know we all somewhere in the world. We are in the air as we have been welcomed, but I do trust that we can really find a way to communicate with one another. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm really going to ask Miss Anna to now flight it for us so that we can just get into it and just share some ideas and thoughts of my own experience, what I have learned in my journey. So, but first of all, let me congratulate all the ladies. I believe that you are graduating from the program today. Congratulations for completing your program. It is the right step into the right direction. I know that some of these programs sometimes they take long, but they are good. As Elvis was reading my biography as well, I have been in so many programs, and it's amazing as to the amount of doors and the number of doors that they can open. So congratulations to each and every one of you. You have made it for yourself. Now, today's presentation is about public speaking. What a daunting topic, okay? And And I trust that maybe there are some communication specialists here today. My presentation is going to be shared on my own personal experiences, what I've seen in my work and what I come across and what I've learned also. You can imagine as I started my career as a junior bookkeeper, all I knew was to do numbers. That's what I was trained to do. I was trained to punch those numbers. I was trained to do unwashed financial statements and produce management accounts, cash flows. Really, in my life, I did not see myself doing something that would enable me to speak to the public, but that's what I have had to learn to do. And that's where I am today as far as my career is concerned. So today, I really trust that I will demonstrate to you, ladies and gentlemen, on how you can use your voice and make it your power and influence the world, impact the world, and also how to master your message and get it clear with so much authority, with dignity, but more than anything else, claiming your space and shaping not only your future, but the future of those around you. Next slide, please. So, as it has already been said, I'm not sure if I can be able to change the slides, or I think we're going to have to go back. I'm not sure if we are all looking at the same slide. Next slide, please. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm breaking slightly. Okay, can you hear me now? Am I audible? Okay, I saw a comment say I'm breaking slightly.
Yes, yes, you're
Am I
audible. I can hear you clearly.
Okay, you can hear me, Glenn. Okay, perfect. All right. So what we really, as Elvis has said, my name is Mmatlali Lucia Motloung. I am the CEO and founder of Lukmo Holdings, and one of our most prominent business right now that we run is Lukmo Wines. And Lukmo Wines is an Afrocentric luxury wine brand that really it's its basis it's on public speaking. Every single day we speak to people, and this business has really allowed myself and my team to present it onto global stages, to present it in Europe, to present it in here at home in South Africa, in many other parts of the continent as well as in the Middle East, in countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, where we have really built the business around storytelling. So, what I really hope to inspire you on today and to really ensure that we come out of from this presentation is to build your confidence, how to overcome anxieties. Trust me, all of us, when we are about to speak to the public, even presenting on a webinar, you still have a bit of anxiety. You still have that voice that says you can't do it. You still have that some of something that's negatively say to you, no, you can't do this. But today, I really trust that through the tools that I will share with you from the experience that I've seen and what I've also engaged with other people, how to build your confidence when you address people, when you address your fellow students, when you address your teachers, when you address just anybody that you come across as you are building and shaping your future and as you are building your career as well. And we're also going to be sharing today from this presentation on how to master the techniques. Now, it is very, very important. And I think during one of the presentations that we had earlier on, that we have what we call now AI. And everyone is panicking. I mean, AI is used a lot. We use it a lot as well as in the wine industry in terms of our presentations, in terms of our marketing tools. But you can never beat authenticity. As much as AI is there and is threatening jobs, but what is going to make you stand out is your structure, is your physical structure, and is how you are going to portray that message. Yes, AI now has many things that we can develop, but nothing beats authenticity, and nothing still beats the human intelligence, and nothing beats the human physical structure, which you and I have, luckily. And I also trust that during this presentation, I will also help every single person that is in this room to lead with purpose. And that's what we have done at Luke Mowans. That's what we do every single day. Lead our purpose through our brand and how you can use your voice to change the narratives, to drive change, and to also unlock future opportunities. I mean, you can just imagine in the business and in the industry that is male dominated, how does a young woman from the Free State in the township penetrate such a complex industry and tell their stories globally and have everyone coming across who come across us and ask us, how did you do it? It was mainly based on the fact that it was about a brand that will lead with purpose, good intention, credibility, and integrity. Next slide, please. So I also wanted to take you into something that I think you will appreciate. Before you see the woman that you are seeing in front of your screen right now, the woman of my on my left, I think she is on your right. The young girl on your left is a young woman. Here was about 15, 16 years old from the township, the dusty streets of Butlukung Township. I was developing as a young woman, very shy, as you can see. When I took this picture, which is something that I wanted to share with you, I think they even had to drag me to get dressed up. I was a tomboy and extremely shy, extremely undeveloped, and wanted nothing to do with anyone knowing me. Was one of those people that had to sit at the back of the class, and because I was one of the A students, I was always dragged to go sit in front, and I hated it because I just felt it was just too much pressure. But it took just something inside of me to believe that I could be the woman on my right, which is the woman I think is on your left, that is today proudly owning her throne, owning her narratives, proud of her story, proud of who she has become. And that is really what I hope I will inspire you today. That the woman, the young lady that you are, you have to develop that young woman in such a way that can be 25 years from now on, or 10 years or 15 years, you can be proud and say, I am so proud of that young girl on my left hand side because she has made ways for the woman that is sitting on that throne and is owning it, owning her story, owning her failures, owning every single thing that she has become today. I recall when I was young, because I was a dark students at home, is people, students basically that on top of their class. And we had to go through interviews. That was doing matric, grade 12. I'm not sure what they call it now. And so they had to interview me. So they interviewed the girl on the left. And, you know, one of the ladies that was interviewing me said to me, so, Lucia, what do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I mean, you've done so well academically. I mean, you are a great debater. I'm sure the old is yours. I said, well, I want to become like the next Oprah. And she said, wow, that's a bit ambitious. And I thought to myself, okay, 5 years to become an Oprah, I don't think that is going to be possible. But, you know, I was allowed to dream and I was allowed to kind of like inspire to be the woman that I wanted to be. But I was just too shy to become an Oprah. And you can imagine the journey that I took. I went for accounting. And before I became a wine brand owner, before I even became a businesswoman that I am today. But if someone were to ask me that same question again now and say, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I don't think I'm going to see myself. I don't think I will respond and say I want to see myself as an Oprah because I don't want to become Oprah. The woman that I've become, I'm proud of her. The woman that I am today, I don't think I want to recreate her in any other way. But I had to become, I had to allow myself to be corrected. I had to allow myself to attend sessions like this. I had to allow myself to learn in order for me to become the woman that I am today. And so you ought to respect where you are in life and always foresee the type of woman that you wish to be. And remember, not that I'm taking anything away from the great Oprah herself. I really find inspiration in her and what she has done. But now, in the life that we live in, we can become anything that we want to become. We can create the next Anita. I'm just going to call the names that I'm seeing on the slide. We can become the next Benice. We can become the next Bunolo. We can become the next Angel. We can become the next woman that we want to be, the woman that we dream to be, and no one can take that away from you. So that's the message that I really wanted to inspire with today, to say, I'm not a woman born from a great big family. I just allowed myself to become, to dream, to ambitious, and to believe in the power of my dreams. Next slide, please. So, what are the catalysts for your future? This is really, as I said, it's a presentation that comes from raw experiences. It's not an experience, it's not a presentation that I've prepared from someone else. It's something that comes from the journey that I've been on, what I have been exposed to, and what I've experienced. Academic excellence is very, very important. We're living in an age where we're now competing with computers. We're living in an age where we're now competing with chatbots. We're living in ages where we're now competing with social media. And therefore, many young women, men as well, are sort of like finding it very discouraging to aspire academic excellence. It is very, very important for you to continue on great academic excellence journey and have a clear expressions of complex ideas. Complex ideas is what will help you as well as you find solutions. We are living in a continent that has so many challenges, but we ought to be the ones that aspire to come up with solutions that will take us forward as a continent. So you need to strive to have great academic excellence and command your presence everywhere you go. Participate in activities such as debates. When you get advantage or get to be chosen to be part and parcels of programs such as Drive to Inspire, ask questions. Don't be afraid. Do your homework, do your research, raise your hand and say, I don't understand this. That will help to build your confidence. As I said, I was just a young girl sitting behind the scenes all the time. Even as a young adult, I'm still, even if as an adult, as old as I am, I still sometimes just want to sit behind the scenes because it helps me then to put myself together. But whenever I get an opportunity, I ask a question. That helps. My mentor always say, the worst thing that people can say to you when you ask for help is a no. That is the worst thing that I can say to you when you don't understand. They will not say to you, oh, we're going to take you to jail because you asked a question. And you have to continue to aspire for that. We know people that are even older. They're still studying, they're studying towards their masters, they're studying towards their PhDs because the competition is high. Even in the industry that I'm in, you continuously need to understand what is going on, understand what is happening, understand the market trends, the industry trends. What are people drinking? What are they not drinking? What is happening? And therefore, you can never stop learning. In Africa, they say tuto haitsofalu. In my language, we say tuto haitsofalu, meaning you're never too old to learn. You can learn until your last day on earth. And so that is why you continuously have to aspire for academic excellence and read books, download books and read them. That will help you to also strengthen your vocabulary and learn how to speak and posture yourself and your verb. Social and team dynamics are very, very important. Now we're living in ages of AI. Everyone is on their phone all the time, and people think, oh, there's no need for us to learn social skills. That is something that is going to help you survive in this complex world that we're finding ourselves in today. Building stronger friendships, building stronger networks, volunteer in organizations. It's not always about you getting the money, the rand, the dollar, the pound, the euro. Go out there and learn from people that have done this before. Go out into the offices of people that are CEOs and just learn and how they do their work. And in that way, you are going to learn how to also work with a team. I recall when I started my career, when I was a junior bookkeeper, During the weekends, I would go to the institute and ask them to be part and parcel of the committee. And that was very, very, very important for me to build my confidence and also how to speak in the boardrooms and how to relate to board members because I knew that as I shape my future, I will be able to build that confidence. So it's very, very important for you to be able to learn how to work as a team and socialize with people. And that will also help you to foster respect, empathy, and seamless teamwork. I mean, you can imagine where I work now, I lead men, I work with men, and sometimes they will come with certain issues that I would not understand as a woman. But it's important for me to have that empathy, to have a team spirit, and to also understand where they are. And that also helps in creating better team and speaking to people. People sometimes often think that public speaking and communication mastery is about speaking in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people only. No, it's also about communicating with the next person. How do you do that? How do you get your message across? I could be having a conversation with Elvis, just the two of us. How do I ensure that what I want to say to him is well understood, is clear, because what I say to him can help me to drive the message that I want, and I can then be referred to the next person. So, how you portray yourself is very, very important. Leadership and opportunity, inspiring others through confident vision. When we started Look More Wines, there was only a vision. And I remember we did not even have mock-ups in terms of how the brand was going to look like, how the label was going to look like. And today we work with royals from South Africa. And we have managed to inspire other royals from the other parts of the continent. I saw there is a colleague coming from Zambia. We have managed to also engage with colleagues from Zambia as well. But we're one of the brands that really created a complex strategy and a complex stakeholder relationship. And all we had was a vision in terms of how we wanted to build the brand. I remember we drew up a concept document, and that's what we took to the royals, to the leaders. We had to see an opportunity and we had to message it well, we had to write it well, we had to research it well, and that enabled us to create a pathway. So it's very important, even where you are right now, to write things down and have a clear direction in terms of what you want to do and how you want to be as a leader, whether it's at a workplace, whether it's in a business structure, or whether it's really in a place where you can be able to inspire others and make a meaningful impact. Next slide, please. Now, what I'm also going to instill and to advise today and to kind of like share with you is the communication toolbox. Now, this is very important. These are the nudges that I really, really will ask you to take home with you. It's very, very important. The verbal mastery. Now, verbal mastery, what does this mean? Your choice of words. It's very, very important. Clarity and structural framing. We're living in times now where there's so much social media, and I see with my own nephew as well how when he wants things, he write things like, "Hey, man, what's up?" All sorts of things which I don't even understand. Now, when we go into a formal structure and when you communicate with people in a formal way, it's very, very important that you choose your words carefully. Do not just use slang and say, "Yo, what's up?" Even when you're writing WhatsApp messages, it is very important to frame it well and be formal when you are engaging with formal people. You cannot just say things like "hi." It is very disrespectful. It sounds like you don't care. It sounds like you did not take time to get to know the name of the other person. And so sometimes when people are making decisions about working with you, because now we communicate more on WhatsApp than we communicate on emails, people will often remember to say, "Ah, that person doesn't greet, they just say hi." Also, you need to understand the etiquette. of communicating online, and do not use the same language that you will use on social media or informal platforms. So your verbal mastery is very, very important if you want people to take you seriously. We are competing with chatbots that even know how to greet us better. So what will make you stand out? It's how you structure your presentations, even on informal conversations. Your non-verbal presence is also very, very important. Your posture, how you speak, your eye contact, is your gesture purposeful? Can people pick up? And these days, because we're living in such a fake world, everything it is so quick. There's one thing that people don't get. There are people out there that can be able to sense your intentions without you even saying anything. And so your posture is very, very important. I remember when I was still a young girl, and I think it was possibly I was still within JCI, and I was learning how to do public speaking because we had to speak to so many people around the world. And I was trying to impress one of my mentors then. She was an executive at Vodacom. Vodacom is one of the biggest telecommunications company. And I was going on using my hands, like, and she kept backing like this. And she said to me, "Why are you so angry? Are you coming for me? Are you coming to hit me?" They said, "No, no, no, I'm not hitting you. I'm just showing you how serious I am." I said, "No, that's just to show me like you're fighting." And in my mind, I was thinking I was trying to get my point across, but I was not. I was actually trying to overemphasize what I was saying. I was trying to overprove myself to her. And because she's an executive, she works with people all the time, she picked it up immediately that this conversation is not authentic. You are trying too hard to prove to me that you are the right candidate to work with. By virtue of you being here already tells me that you are the right person that I can work with. So you don't have to over deliver. So it's very, very important that you don't over perform because people will see through you. People nowadays, because everything in social media is so fake, they want authentic people. Be your authentic self. I'm not a loud person by nature. So whenever I do my public speaking presentations, whether I'm presenting the wines that we have in the business, whether I'm presenting any solution, or whether I'm merely talking about anything that really is close to my heart, like African culture and heritage, governance topics, I always maintain posture that I want people to remember me with. I'm not going to try to be loud because I'm not a loud person. Next time they're going to see me, expect me to be loud, and they don't get that. So always remain your original self. If you are a loud person, people will be able to fall in love with that and they will remember you with that. You don't have to be something that you're not. And when you communicate, you must be consistent. Now imagine if you are loud and you pretend to be a loud person and then you come across the same audience again 2 weeks and expecting a loud person, you come as the donkey and they're going to think, who are you? So who you are has always got to come out at the first presentation, at the first time you meet people. Your emotional intelligence is very, very important. As I said earlier on, we're competing with artificial intelligence, but human intelligence will always stand out. Now, we're living in ages where I will always make reference to this because that's where we are as human beings, as in our human journey. We're living in the times where everything is so loud. Social media is loud, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I can't even keep up with what else is out there. And so people have lost the sense of empathy. You know, there's no empathy anymore. So whenever you do your presentation, always read the room. Try to get a sense of who your audience is. Try to know and research your audience. Don't say things out of excitement. Just because you are dealing with a crowd that is excited, don't think that they're going to take your excitement or your exciting words into consideration. Always read the room and show empathy. And never say things that you don't know or you're not sure about. If you're not sure, ask questions. What type of people am I going to be talking to today? So that you can be able to capture. You only have one chance to really introduce yourself to the world, and they will always remember you by that time and that moment. You are not going to get a second chance. And I always say, even to my team as well, you are as good as your first presentation or your first project. What you delivered last week was excellent, but people have forgotten about it. Today, it's a brand new day, and you have to give your best new shot. So it's very important that we apply emotional intelligence when we do public speaking. Even when you're talking to a potential client, when you're getting for an interview, always read the room. Never assume. I always say to people, just because people look nice and they're smiling to you and they're showing kindness, don't assume that they are stupid. Always read the room and look at how people are responding to you. And if you feel like you're saying too much, shut up. Don't continue. And just excuse yourself. Don't, because sometimes that's what happens when they discuss. Did you hear Elvis? Oh my gosh, that guy goes on and on and on. I can't stand him. And the next thing you know, the CEO does not want to talk to you because you were saying things that are really, you know, almost they you were saying things that are offensive, and before you know it, you are not talking to the secretary because nobody wants to talk to you. You did not read the room. You failed to read the room just because you saw people welcoming. You took it for granted that they're understanding. So emotional intelligence becomes very, very important, especially in the age of AI. Active listening. It's very important for you to listen, not to reply, but to understand as well. You know, sometimes we have this thing that we know it all, we well educated, we know everything. And so we don't listen to people. We interject when they speak. We've got brighter ideas. Everyone has brighter ideas. Chat GPT has the brightest ideas than all of us nowadays. So what are we going to do? You know, as I said, authenticity is what's going to help us listen so that you can pick up even the most smallest things that someone said to you. You can pick up that in a paragraph that is said, you can keep up one key thing that will stand out. You can even pick up their name and remember it. And that is what will make it count. That's it what will make you stand out. When you interject a lot, you give an impression that you know it all. So why do we want to work with you if you know everything? Why do we want you to address people when you know everything? We might as well as go and ask, I don't know, there's just so many, as I said, there's so many of these things I can't keep up, but who you are and how you interact with people and taking this communication toolbox is very essential, especially in ages like this, where we not only competing with other human beings, but we're also competing with robotics and programs. So these tools will always help us to stand out amongst the rest. Next slide, please. Now, the anatomy of presence is very key when we're doing public speaking and communicating with others. The eyes. I want to show you my eyes. I hope you can see without my glasses. I've got very small eyes. You can see. So wearing glasses sometimes help because they make my eyes look big. So, and I've got Chinese eyes, a bit of Chinese eyes or Japanese. And when I was in school, they used to tease me a lot because they used to say to me, "Oh, you've got such small eyes. We can't see," and I'm a photographer's worst nightmare because whenever I smile, my eyes close. So yeah, you can just imagine the eyes are closing, the eyes are small. So thank goodness we have some, eyes artificial eyes now that we can use. But steady contact is very, very important because this immediately say we can trust you. As I said, we're living in a world where there's just too many things happening every single day. Trust is what is going to make us stand out. When you look at a person in the eyes, when you meet them for the very first time, look at them in the eyes. That tells you and that tells them that I am the real deal. I am the person that has got to deliver a message. I am the person that you want to listen to. I am the person that is going to connect with you as my audience. So your eye contact has got to be very essential. I showed you my eyes because what I want to demonstrate is that no matter how small your eyes are, when you look at people in the eyes, they can see it and they can see through you already. You know, someone once said, our eyes, they're like a window to our soul. So when you look at someone in the eye, immediately they connect with you. They can see the bravery. And even if you forget some of the lines that you're going to say, but never lose that eye contact. Your face, your face is very, very important. How you express yourself. Always ensure that your expression matches your emotion of the message. Now, we work in a very competitive industry. And one of the things that helps us to stand out as a brand is our storytelling. And our storytelling is unapologetically African. So we represent our African culture and heritage. So you can imagine we stand in front of people across the globe. You're standing in front of someone who is from the United Kingdom, as we recently been to the UK, and you need to tell them that the wine that I'm presenting to you is named after King Makosonke II, who is the king of Amandebele from Mpumalanga in South Africa. You are not going to apologize for that line and for that story. It's yours, and your face has got to tell it with confidence, pride, and dignity. You own that story. It's yours. Your role is to ensure that the next person believe it. If they buy into it, well, that's great. If they don't, it doesn't matter. The message has been delivered and it landed. So that's why you have got to ensure that your face and the posture is consistent to what you are delivering. If you're delivering a sad story, even if you are delivering a sad story, deliver it with so much confidence that it makes sense to the next person. I mean, we named one of our wines after my mother. She passed away last year. It's a sad story, but I don't present it with sadness. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what she has done. And therefore, the way I present her wine shows pride. It does not show a sad face. It says, I'm proud of the mother that she was and is still to me. And we've actually called it a mother's love in a bottle, and a mother's love and protection in a bottle. We are now presenting the protection of a mother in that bottle. And therefore, the facial expression has to always present that because people can pick your energy. Energy is very important, and your face represent the energy and the space that you are in. And therefore, you always have to compose yourself and ensure that whatever you are doing speaks to that because that's all we see. That's all the audience see. The audience doesn't care if before you presented your story, you cried, you did what you needed to do to get ready. They care about what they see now and here. Your chest and shoulders, your power posture. This is where now we separate the big girls from the big boys and the big boys from the big girls. Now, your posture is going to be your power and your authority. You must always have authority, regardless of how small you think your story is. Your story is not small, regardless of how little others think you have done. It doesn't matter. You ought to believe that what you're presenting is big to you, and that is what matters. And the delivery of that is what is going to make the difference. I recall, I love Ghana, by the way. I've been there about 3 times. And every time I was going to Ghana, I love how the Ghanaians really are, get excited about what other people do across the globe. And there's this young man, Eric Ozay. So he wrote a book about Africa's greatest leaders, and he featured me in that book as one of Africa's future leaders. And I did not see myself as a future leader back then, believe it or not. And I recall sharing to one of my leaders, and I said, "Oh, guess what? A young man in Ghana wrote a book and a chapter about us, and he featured me in his book." And the senior said to me, "Well, what kind of story you have? I mean, you've been to what, 5 countries, 7 countries. And I thought I'd done quite well. And I said, well, you pick things here and there. But when I read that story now, it was my story. I owned it. My posture had to say, whether you think what I've achieved is minimal to you, I'm owning it. And your body language has got to show the other person that this is my story. So never be ashamed of your story, regardless of how small it is to the other person. It doesn't matter. And guess what? I said that I'm building a generational business. And when I look at what Eric Ose wrote, it is consistent with what I believed and the vision that I had for the business. Your hands. So this is where I remember I spoke about your purposeful movement. Chaka Chang. Remember, I was putting all Jackie Chan to my mentor, the executive. Do not overdo it. Use gestures that support and elevate your message. You don't have to overprove yourself. What you are going to say is what we want to hear. Sometimes we think that by showing too much hand gestures, it's confidence. In fact, when we have people coming to us and wanting to work with us, we look at their hands and how they use their hands and body language. The minute someone comes out too strong, we know that is not the right person to work with because whatever they're selling us, what they're trying to do, is going to be done with too much exaggeration. So you don't have to exaggerate your story with your hands. People will believe you, they will see through you. So, what do we take from this anatomy of presence when we do presentations, when we do public speaking? 4 key things that will make us stand out: our eye contact, our face, the chest and shoulders, and of course, the movement of our hands. It's very, very important because all of this, it does not have to be over dramatic. It does not have to be over elaborated. It does not have to be in a way that it you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you over explain to people. They're not going to take you seriously. And I started off like that. I will explain and say the same thing more than once, hoping that I will be able to get it. And those deals or those transactions or those messages that I do, that they don't succeed because they can see through me that I'm trying and I'm trying too hard, and sometimes it doesn't work. Next slide, please. Commanding the room. Now we want to get to a stage where we make our presence known as we are. Remember what I said, you have to come as you are. You don't have to try to be someone else. You don't have to try and copy someone else's accent. You don't have to try and go through and ask, hello, ChatGPT, please give me a certain accent. You are going to do disgrace to yourself and you're going to do injustice to yourself. You need to be clear and confident. Speak loud enough to be heard, articulating every single word that you are saying. Remember what I said earlier on about the importance of reading the room and preparation. Now, this is where that comes in. And also, as I said, read, read, read. Reading helps you to help to improve your vocabulary. As you read, you get to know how to pronounce certain words. And we know that pronunciation, I mean, because we are all global citizens in the room tonight, sometimes the way I pronounce things will not necessarily be the way that my fellow colleagues from Ghana will pronounce things. The most important thing is how we articulate that. Is it clear? Is it confident? Does it even inspire confidence? Sometimes you can actually not be able to be taken seriously because when you speak, you're sounding sleepy, you're sounding like you don't want to talk. Train your voice. There are those challenges that other people have. Not all of us have got to be loud, but you can still be confident and command respect in the room with your voice. As quirky as it is, be clear and make sure that you are confident. Your tone and emotion is very, very important. You have to have passion for what you are speaking about. If you're going to be talking about the work that you do at Drive to Inspire Africa, you have to believe in it. We find people, just speaking things, and you can tell they don't even believe in what they are talking about. And people will see that. Be passionate about what you convince us. This is what I believe in. I believe in the beauty of African culture and heritage. I speak it with so much confidence. And that is what has made the brand to be where it is. Because we show emotions, the passion that comes from us talking about the brand. It's not only about the wine that we speak about or the work that you do, but be passionate. You could be selling pen to us. You could be talking about the life of a pen. Be passionate. You'll be amazed that people will have 10 pens, that they will bite into your pen because you have taken time to give us the emotion of what makes your pen different. And so it is very, very important for you to inject that passion. And passion comes from within. It is not something that you can buy. It is something that you need to believe in. And so, as I said earlier on, authenticity is authentic. Oh, be authentic. I'm losing my English bangles. So you have to be authentic at all times because that authenticity is going to help you to ensure that that passion comes from within. And as I said, these days we can see people that are not passionate. Sometimes you'll enter into spaces where you have to pitch your business plan, where you have to talk about your business model canvas. Sometimes it won't make sense to people what you are saying, but your passion, your delivery, your emotion, it's what will make you to stand out, and they can deal with the rest of the content later. The power of pause. You cannot go on and on and on. Nobody is going to hear what you're saying. So it's very, very important to pause and know when to pause and control your pacing. Avoid speaking too fast, as I said, and speak with authority. Even if you speak slow, speak with authority so that people can understand what you are saying and what message you want to drive. Next slide, please. Now, we know when we are doing public speaking, we have fear and how we can be able to overcome this. Trust me, I still cannot get it right. I speak almost every day of my life if I'm not in office working on the brand or engineering the next move for the brand. Tomorrow I'm speaking again at the podcast, and I'm always nervous. But it is absolutely normal. Even coming to this webinar, I was saying to my team members, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. I hope they understand what I'm going to say. And it's totally normal to have those butterflies. In fact, it's better because you're not projecting yourself as someone that is overconfident. You are actually respecting the people that you are going to be addressing. Being nervous shows that you take what you do seriously. You are also respecting the people and the audience that you're going to be presenting to because you don't want to come across as someone that is arrogant and that is over the top. And so, how you will overcome this, your actions that you need to take is to have a deep, controlled breathing. Do not breathe too fast and do not try to be controlling over the situation. The most important thing is your mindset that what you will be doing there when you are presenting yourself to the public or whether you're presenting yourself to the group is to focus on the message. Focus on the message that you want to deliver. Often, because we are so focused on the actual perfection of the presentation, what we are going to say, and how others are going to think about us, we end up trying too hard to be perfect. Oh, I want this to be perfect. Oh, I want everything to be perfect. What about the message that you are portraying? What about the things that you want to say? What are you saying to us? What do you want us to remember you with? What do you want us to remember as we go to bed tonight? I bet you are going to forget about how the slides looked like. When Elvis asked me today, I said, impact is what I would like the audience to remember with from tonight, not the PowerPoint presentation. And so the messaging becomes key. Again, we live in the AI ages where everything can be done within 2 seconds. But if the slide is too perfect, we lose the message. And we know, even in music, I'm not a musician, but we've had some of the most horrible songs in the world where the man plays just a guitar, and a person will ask you, but why do you love the song so much? And you always say, it's the message of that song that stand out for me. And so even when you're presenting to the public or to people, always remember your message is key. The presentation and everything else is the cosmetics of what you need to deliver in order for people to take you seriously. It is truly secondary, that your message is what is going to help you to control the narrative and to control what is happening and how that audience receive you. And the most important thing to overcome that, be excited about it. You know, often people say practice in front of the room. Be excited. Talk about it. Talk about it to your colleagues. Talk about it to your friends. Talk about it to your parents, your mother, anybody, your church friends. Hey, guess what? I'm going to be doing a presentation today. I'm excited. What do you think I should say? Because the audience that is going to be listening to you will really get your energy. We are all over the continent right now. Some of the audience is coming from Zambia, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana. But what is going to make this webinar exciting is our excitement. How do we deliver our energy? Are we consistent? Do we look forward to being here? And be ready to deliver and be ready to show up as you are. And that is what is going to make you to stand out. Yes, you will have the nerves, but remember that topic. Are you excited about it? Are people going, don't worry too much. Are they going to receive it well? Are they going to think I'm cool? Are they going to think I'm exciting? You are the one that has got to be convinced that you are excited about, excuse me, but about what you are going to be presenting. That is what is going to help you to control your nerves. That is what is going to help you to get the message across. And that is what is going to help you to make an impact and to stand out. Next slide, please. Now, this has got to be one of my favorite parts of this presentation. It's something that I do every day with my team, the art of storytelling. I have to tell you something very personal. I remember, you know, in the work that we do, I mean, the brand of Luke Wines, even if you Google it, our African Royals by Luke Wines really comes from the story. It comes from the story of really presenting our culture as Africans, our heritage in the most elevated, luxurious, and premium manner to the world. Now, I recall one, I think it was last year, and I hope people that I'm talking about are not here. I'm really crossing fingers because they're going to be upset with me. Now we're gossiping, right? So, and I recall that I had to do a pitch, and it was like 2 weeks pitch, you know? So, and they tell me about my brand. And at the end of the day, I know that my brand, it's a wine brand. So I sell alcohol. But the story is that we are an Afrocentric luxury wine brand. We inspire people to be together and have wine to form relationships, to create strong bonds. Now, during this meeting and preparation, they bring executives from Google and big people from America and all over the world. Now here comes Lucia doing a presentation. And this lady said to me, what are you talking about? What are you saying to us? You know, alcohol is so negative. Are you telling us you must drink and whatnot? And you know what I did? I pulled out of that pitch on the last day. I said to the organizer, I can't do this. This is it. I wasted, I did not waste time because I did learn quite a number of things. I felt like the past 2 weeks were challenging and I know what I'm doing. But because the storytelling did not come out well, my truth did not come out well. So it is very, very important when you are presenting your story, always be genuine and draw from your own experiences. And you know what I do now when I tell the story of Luke Wines? Because I've always shied away from talking about me. I always thought, no, I must talk about other people. But when I tell the truth about who I am, where I come from, and why I do what I do, people buy into that. They buy the product and why we want them to be part of Look More Wines, why we want them to be our customers, why we want them to buy from us. And even when we stand on global stages, when we pitch or whatever we do, that story, that true and own experience, my own experience, is what matters the most. Hence, I showed you that little girl who was shy, who had an afro, versus the woman that I am today. That is my story. That is where I come from. I am proud to be coming from Buhlukong. I am proud to be coming from the township streets of South Africa. That is who I am. I may be speaking good English now, but I had to learn. And people will draw strength from your personal truth. When you come out and say, oh, well, I'm from the suburbs, they are not going to relate. You are taking away the genuineness in the art of your storytelling. And that's how you connect with people, regardless of who they are. They will believe it because you tell that story from your own experience. And that is very important. And you must also be relatable to the challenge. Keep your story simple and focused. Tell people how you overcame challenges. Do not be unrealistic. You know, sometimes when people are doing motivational speaking, they will talk about things that are unrealistic. And when you go home and you do those things, you realize, but no, man, I more people here are really in South Africa. We say, "Dlala ngwathi lana," meaning loosely translated. I don't know how to put this now in English. Are they playing with us? They play with us. Yeah. Now, bar shy shy. In my language, you say in slang, I bar shy shy. These people here, it simply means that now they're really messing us. They're merely messing us up here. This is not possible. They will say, how many books I read, and they speak big, they talk big, and they do those hand gestures. You gotta read 20 books. I read 20 books in one day. And you're like, bro, when you get to go to work when you read 20 books in one day? It's impossible. So you must always be relatable to what people can do and what people cannot do before you say things that are not realistic. Because people will see right through you that is impossible. You can't say to people, you wake up every morning at 1 o'clock and go run. It's not true. In my country, they will mug you at 1 o'clock if you're going to run. It's not possible. Be honest, be relatable, and be sensitive to other people's challenges, their dynamics, where they're coming from, so that they can be able to relate to you and not see you as a superwoman or as a superhuman being. That is how you relate your story to others, and that is how you project your art of storytelling. Your passionate delivery is very, very important. Speak with conviction. Be honest in your delivery. Do not try to convince people to buy into what you are selling or what you are trying to present at that time. Be honest. The audience will care about the story if they see that you care. If people see that you care about the preservation of African culture and heritage, they will believe it. They will want to be part and parcel of that. We have recently launched our African, our community. It's our club, it's a wine club, but we call it the Lukma Wines community. And what we have seen is that people are subscribing before we even invite them. Because what we also do through that program, we take some of the proceeds and also take them to help fight alcohol abuse in our country. We believe it. We speak it with conviction. We sell it and talk about it in global stages. We own it. It's a negative story, but we changing it into a positive story. We care about it. And sometimes again, it goes back to the personal truth. My personal truth about alcohol, Guess what? I sell wine. I'm a wine brand owner. That's what I do every day. My own father, who is now late, was an overdrinker. But what did we do? We changed that, and we're changing that into a positive experience because that is my personal truth. So when someone talks to me in a public platform and say, you are driving the nations, you are dividing families, no one can take my truth away from me. I saw what alcohol did to my own family, but today I'm selling it positively. We are even taking some of our funds to help combat it. That is my truth. That is my personal truth. And no one can take that away from me. And that is why it's very, very important to be passionate in your delivery and speak with conviction. No one, absolutely no one can take that away from you. And you need to be able to deliver that very well, honestly, with dignity and pride. And in the world of AI, what people need is your own experience. ChatGPT, in his or her excellence, cannot draw that for you. Only you have lived it. Only you know that truth. Next slide, please. And that is how you can tell your story. It's very important to structure your message well. The anchor, your introduction. This is where you set the tone. When I was preparing for my presentation, I thought, should I do a video, put all the theatrics, But I thought, no, that is not going to set the tone. I needed to come across as a human being. You want to relate with a human being. I checked on YouTube what type of videos I can play as my introduction. But I thought those videos do not present who I am. Hence, I then decided to show you the pictures of who I am, of the little girl that I looked like, and when I was 15, 16 years old, versus the woman that little girl handed over to. That is how you set the tone. Be honest. Now people know who they're dealing with. They're not dealing with someone from America that they cannot relate to. They're dealing with someone that they can relate to, someone that looks like them, someone that thinks like them, someone that has experienced what they are experiencing. And what you're showing them, it is wherever you are right now, it is possible to go to the next level. And you are going to make it. You are going to present it against all odds. Your life is not perfect. My life is not perfect. But each and every day, you strive towards a better life. And someone out there is going to hear your story and they're going to relate to it and they're going to help you to the next level. And that is why it's important to be honest, to be authentic, to be passionate, and to deliver it in such a way that it sets the tone from the beginning. You can't start on a high and then come and show something that is not there. The journey as you go through the structure, it's your body. How are you going to now deliver the points clearly? The body of your message is truly, truly important. And you have to support it with real stories. Today, I thought to myself, oh, should I share stories of people that I don't even know? I shared about the story of Oprah that I wanted to become an Oprah Winfrey, but I don't know Oprah in person. I don't know how Oprah tackles some of her challenges. Yes, I've read about them, but the person that I live with every single day, you need to learn. It's Mmatlali Lucia Motloung. And that is the person that I strive to deliver today. The shy girl. Now it's real world examples. It's not examples of people that are far, far away from us. It's someone that is from this very continent, someone that share the same struggles. And that is why it's very important as you're building your journey. Use real examples. Do not ask ChatGPT, hi ChatGPT, show me a story of someone that used to be shy and is now a public speaker. Ooh, JGP, my friend, is going to give you so many names. And guess what? Your audience won't even know those people. You are also going to struggle to even pronounce them yourself. Ask about your friends, talk to people around you, and share real. We are out of those days where everything was so far away from us. Everything is close to us now, and people now yearn for the truth and they yearn for what is real because what is real is fading, and what is authentic is our next gold. Always remember that. Destination, the conclusion, you must always end with a memorable closing thought that calls for clear action. What is it that you want people to remember you with when you leave the room? I'm sure all of us in this room have listened to so many presentations. This is not the first presentation that you're listening to. And this is definitely not the last presentation that you are going to hear in your life. But what will make this presentation unique to what you have had? And what will make your presentation unique to what other people have had? How you close that statement. They must be able to look back in the next 5 years and say, I remember what Elvis said, and I did what Elvis said I should do. Elvis said to me, Elvis, sorry, I'm picking on you because I can see your face. And we did the introduction. So if I pick on you, please do pardon me. Um, because we had an engagement before the session. And this is the call of action that they said I need to do for my presentation in order for me to build a better future for myself. If I can take one thing from that presentation, you can then become a better person because you can imagine how many materials we are exposed to. We are exposed to so many things we forget, but you must always remember your audience, leave them with something that they will remember in the next 5 years. In my journey, I've met some of the most amazing human beings from across the world. But you know what my mentor always says? And she said this in passing. She said to me, Lucia, the worst thing that people can say to you is a no. And that's what I always remember her with. And she's an executive right now working for a global company. That's all I remember her with whenever I go to pitch. The worst thing that people can say to you, it's a no. And that has given me the drive to present and to stand in front of people and to pitch the brand. Always remembering the words that they're going to say to me, it's a no. And when they say no, I always go back to them and say, how can I improve? How can I make it better? And she said those words 5 or 6 years ago. That's the real impact. That closing statement. What is it that you want your audience to take with when they go? What is it that they will remember with? An action. Today, I've done multiple presentations. We've presented the brand to places that we never dreamed we'd present them to. And the worst thing that people can say to us, it's a no. And one woman said that. Out of everything that she has said, that's all I remember. What are people going to remember when you end your statement? Next slide, please. Now, the world of digital space, the digital economy, everything else is speaking about this digital leadership. Your voice extends far beyond the physical room. And this, again, is representative of where we are today. Online communication requires the same mastery and intent as standing on stage. We are on air today. We're speaking from one another from all over the continent. But how we engage with one another in this digital space that we're in is very, very important. Are you getting the message clear? Are you elevative? Are you being respectful even as you speak on webinars? Are you doing your pauses and reflections? Are you guarding your impact? That is very, very, very important. Remember, your digital reputation will follow you everywhere. People these days are taking pictures and whatever they're doing, and that leaves a footprint. How you portray yourself is very, very important digitally. Amplifying the good. Use your platform to advocate for the good, not for the negative. And we're seeing today people on Twitter saying negative things. Remember, Those things don't go away from the internet and they can have an impact in your life. The session, I believe, is going to be recorded. What are people going to say? The type of questions that we asked. How are we going to, how when we deliver? So that is very, very important. Next slide, please. Page 12, please. Now, as I draw close to my presentation today, I just want us to reflect on the Hall of Fame of some of the women that have changed the narratives about our continent. This women, their names are on your screen and you can see them. Madam Ellen Johnson, Madam Gozi Okonjo, Madam Naledi Pando, Madam Wangari, and of course, Madam Chimanda. These women are inspirational women in our continent, in politics, in economy, in storytelling from Liberia, from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Kenya, women that have changed the world using their voices. Their voices have inspired other women to enter the world of politics. Their voices have inspired other women to enter into complexity, careers in environmental studies. They have managed to also change the narratives through storytelling. And I believe that if we look at this woman of Africa, we can also become that. We are Africans. We need to be proud and we need to use our voices to build a better continent, to build better societies. We are the next generation, and we are the only ones that can use our voices to change how the world view us. And therefore, we need to be able to ensure that when we deliver the message, we deliver that with dignity, pride, and credibility. Next slide, please. Now, leadership in action. What does it require? The core, confidence inspires trust. The team, leaders communicate a shared vision that needs to be owned by everyone. I believe when Madam Nana started Drive to Inspire, her vision was to inspire Africa. Her vision was to inspire everyone. And that's what leadership does. And she communicated that well. The system, you need to have proper systems in place. You need to have structure in place. We believe that as women, as ladies, as girls, we have what it takes to lead powerfully. We must not wait for permission to take the microphone and get our voices to be heard. We have what it takes to make an impact. Don't undermine where you are today. Don't look at yourself and say, oh, well, there's not much that I can do. I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4. You may not have it today, but tomorrow you will definitely have it. What are you going to do? When I showed you that little girl, she was not confident. She did not have much inspiration, but look at her today. She's talking to you about the importance of presenting yourself well. Next slide, please. Now, as we are about to close, I was going to do an exercise, but I think we can miss that so that we can leave room for question and answers. Next slide, please. Now, as I close off my session and presentation today, I would like to say to you in the words of Madame Wangari, there are opportunities even in the most difficult moments. The world is listening. The stage is yours. The world is your oyster. Confidence is built, not born. Keep practicing. Do not be afraid to take up spaces. Your story is fiercely important. If anyone had told that little girl that in 2026, when she counts the countries that she has been to, it's over 30 countries. She has started her own brand, which is now gaining traction globally. I would have said it's impossible. And that girl today is convincing the world to look at Africa in a different eye and to drink wines named after our kings and queens from Africa and believe Africa is luxurious. I would have said, get out of here. But today I believe that my story is fierce. My story is important. It matters to me. And so it can matter to the rest of the world. Thank you so much for having me. and for helping me, for enabling me, pardon me, to be part and parcel of this experience. It's been fine. I enjoyed it. Please excuse me. It's almost my bedtime, so my English data my English bundles have depleted. As we say, as we say it
It's
here
been
at
a
home.
pleasure.
I think if they're South Africans, you will know. I think South Africans and Botswana will know. English bundles when it's after 6, they deplete, and I think mine were trying to deplete a bit, but I think I held it together. So thank you so much. Thank you, Madam Nana, for inviting me. It's been great fun. I really enjoyed this.
It's been really exciting and insightful as well. I enjoyed every single bit, and I think that the angles you took to explain some of these areas have been really, really insightful for a lot of people. I'm sure we'll have some comments. Can we get through some comments before we get the questions? A message here says, such an inspiring story. Thank you, Miss Lucia. And did I lose that? I think I lost it. Okay, so he says, I felt every word spoken. You inspire me to excel. And another one from Jane says, wow, today I have really learned a lot. In my next pitch, I will do my best. I think I have another one from Tiamwa Olivia says, thank you very much for these words. I really appreciate them. And another one from Montlo says, thank you, madam. Let me get to another one here. It says, wow, thank you so much for this great woman. That was really very inspiring. And I think I got Lumbo's own earlier. Thank you so much, Lumbo, for being a part of this. Jane says, wow, thanks for the inspiration. And another one also came through from Henry. Henry says, thank you, Madam Lucia. And Benedicta also says, thank you, Madam. Uh, Really inspiring. Uh, this is inspiring. You were speaking to me directly. That's from Henry. And Lena says, thank you for this insightful message. I'm hoping we have some questions in the chat box. We can go through the questions. But Lucia, if I can just touch on this quickly, because as you were talking, as you were speaking to us, a few things crossed my mind. I had to discuss that earlier as well with you. But where does timing, condition, and psychological state, where does it fall in communication, especially? Would you mind sharing some light on that?
Timing is very important when you prepare your presentation. I mean, what we do is I've been doing so many pitches. So you have to practice. You have to take it so seriously. But even when I prepared this presentation yesterday, I set aside about 3 hours, the preparation, and then the rehearsal as well. And we living in a world where we pitch every single day. Sometimes we pitch for, if I'm answering your question well, we pitch for about 2 minutes. So we have to learn, and it just takes practice. You're not gonna get it right all the time. Some slides you think I'm gonna speak for 2 minutes, but then you realize that when you read the room, and unfortunately, it's very difficult for me to read the room here because I can't see the audience, so I'm unable to then time in terms of what I think, or I'm assuming where the headspace is. So you just need to assume, but I guess it comes with practice and also understanding what needs to be the message that needs to be said. When we do two
Okay.
minute speeches, the key thing is get the brand out there. This is what I do. This is how I do it. I need to pitch. Am I pitching to an investor? So always know your audience. It's very, very important because that is going to help you with your timing as well. Learn your audience and ask about your audience.
Okay, so let's get to the chat box. We have a few questions there, but thank you so much for shedding some light on that question
You're
earlier.
welcome. Thank you.
Anonymous attendee, it's a pleasure to have Anonymous join us. If that's,
Anonymous. I hope it's not those people I was gossiping about.
I hope not. So it says, what are some words and phrases that one can use when intending to speak with authority? What are some words and phrases you can use?
Yo, that's a tough question, Anonymous. You have to be as simple as possible. Honestly, I think I was born in a time where people used to say you used to use bombastic words. But you are going to use bombastic words and you're the only one that is going to know what you are saying. Use simple words. People can hear. You don't have to speak words that people will not understand. The most important thing is to get the message across. So when you use words such as kanamaku, I don't even know what that word is. You know what I mean? So when you speak with authority, speak with words that people will understand. Remember, like I said, your posture is key. How you deliver your message is key. Words are just words. I could say something so stupid and meaningless. But if I deliver it well with authority, it's gonna land well. And I think we've seen it with some of so-called world great leaders. And you go back and you analyze what they were saying, and you say, hang on, but this person was talking nonsense. But because it was delivered well with authority, it landed. So don't go out there and use big words. They're really not going to, they're not gonna, when you, people are gonna see through and they're not gonna believe you. You might get away with it, but next time it might not really get that well. And you want people to ask questions. How are people going to ask questions when they don't understand the words that you are saying?
Right. Okay, thank you very much for that. Let me move to Cyrus. Cyrus got a question also saying, how can I reach without struggle to understand someone that is great and unreachable and share my vision and business ideas with them? Sometimes it says your mentors are usually busy and unreachable. So he wants ideas on how to approach mentors and reach them with business ideas. Any tip?
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked this question because this is something that I always say to people, and we had to learn it the hard way. Mentorship, I think it's a topic on its own, and I really would like to challenge Drive to Inspire to look into this topic. If you have not heard this topic, people want to go for mentors that are big, especially young people. And we've done that mistake. In my early 20s, I will see someone on stage and I will approach them and say, can you be my mentor? They will give me their numbers. And guess what? I will not even talk to that person, will not even, I will not hear from them. At least now we live in the age of WhatsApp. So you will WhatsApp them, they blue tick you. It's very important when you pick a mentor that is aligned to your principles, to your values, and to your beliefs. That is very, very important. I think in my life, I've been mentored by almost 3 or 4 people. The mentor that I have now, Mel Sipule, she's one of my greatest mentor because she's aligned to my principles. She's aligned to my values. I am able to reach her because she's human. She believes in me. My growth is very important to her. My growth is very important because she's able to say, I have planted a seed in this young woman's life. So you ought to be, this is a topic on its own, really. And I would love to challenge Madam Nana on this one. You have to go for a mentor that is not going to bleed to you, that is going to believe you, that is going to hold your hand, that is not going to use your ideas. It's very, very important. So sometimes I see many young people fall into the trap of wanna go for big people that are not, they meet 100 other young people as well. You are competing with close to 200 young people. And that mentor that you think is not ideal because they don't run a multi-billion rent business or multi-billion dollar business is the right mentor for you because they align to those values. And their role will then be who introduce you to the right people that are going to help you. So I think this one I would really like to pause up a bit on it because I would like to
Okay.
share it as a session. And I would really like to challenge Madam Nana on this one. Mentorship is very important. What I've learned about mentorship, I can tell you now, I've presented some of my best ideas to what people that I thought were my mentors, and they ran with it. They never told me. The next thing I see it on TV, I'm like,
Yeah,
And there.
it happens.
So, you know what I mean? So, you have to be very careful. And I think it's very important for us as people that have been through this to really guide young people about the importance of mentorship. Don't go for the big guns, guys. There are already so many people that you're competing with. Go for people that you align with three things, as I said, your values, your principles, integrity. Those are the people that you want to that you want to be mentored with or by.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. We have a few more questions to ask and then we can move up. However, I've seen a hand up from Carla Israela Atongo. I think she would like to ask a question. Then we can move on to some other questions. But ahead of that, let me get into the chat box again. This message here says, do you have any tips for those of us who are faster talkers, like you talk really fast? The more nervous I get, the faster I speak. Any tips on how I can regulate?
Trust me,
Yeah.
I used to speak very, very fast myself. I know I don't sound like it, but uh, you have to practice, really. I remember I used to speak a lot to my family members, my mother, my sister, and my nephew, and always say to me, "Oh, stop! You're talking so fast. We can't hear you. What are you saying?" So it all comes with practice. And sometimes your family members are your best critics because really they sometimes just want you to shine and speak around them. And it only just takes practice. And these days, things are easier because you can also, record yourself on WhatsApp as well and send it to someone and say what you think. Do you think I'm speaking for? It just really takes practice, 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 practice. I mean, when I speak in my native language, when I speak in Sesotho, I still speak faster because it's the language that I often don't use when I do presentations. But when I speak in English, I speak slower. It's not my mother tongue. It's not the language that I use when I'm at home. When I'm at home, I still speak Sesotho. So it's just a matter of practicing. And often we become so hard on ourselves when we speak in English. It's not our mother tongue, guys. So we don't have to be hard on ourselves, okay? If you go to other parts of the world, they speak, if you go to Japan, the Japanese, they speak in their language, so you don't have to feel like no one is they're going to judge you, so just practice, record yourself, and send that voice recording to someone else so that if they can hear what you are saying, then you know. But practice, 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 practice. So imagine I send like 20 voice notes every single day. And so I have one of our stakeholders, one of the queens that I work with, and she always jokes and say, whenever Lucia sends me a voice note and I send like long voice notes, she said she pauses every single minute. Okay, 1 minute. She writes down what I've said. But she has taught herself how to communicate with me. And so that's how you do it. And she becomes my worst critic as well. She's like, you are too fast. Relax. But then remember, I mean, it's a language. English is a language that is not ours. So don't be too hard on yourself. You'll get it right eventually. Okay.
Fantastic. Right. So before we get to our final question, unfortunately, we can't take further questions, but we can take one more question. I'd like to encourage you, if you are a participant, I want to encourage you to go to www.drivetoinspireafrica.org, where you can get more detail and more information about the organization and how you can be a part of it, or if you want to learn more. There are several other webinars on YouTube as well. You can check more about our webinars on YouTube where you can learn a lot more as well. But if you want to find out more of what we do socially, you can always get on our social platforms. That's Drive to Inspire Africa on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, and also on YouTube. Right, so let's get to our final question. I think that we have a question standing out there. It says, how do you manage your time when you have lots of things to talk about?
I manage my time and I've got lots of things to talk about.
Yes,
You're
I think that's from Eddie Long, I think. Yeah, that's from Eddie Long.
when you have it, always go for what is priority. We always all of us have a lot of things to talk about, but you need to be able to assess, and only you can do that, Carla. you always have to assess in terms of what is important. Remember, like I said, the message. What message do you want to drive? And what is it that you want people to take away after you have made your presentation? You could be having like a paragraph, but sometimes, like I said, only one word or sentence is going to come out. So you have to be able to assess in terms of your intentions for that presentation and what is it that you want people to come out there with. What do you want to do with that? What do you want them to do with that message? So then you will start to trim it. If you are making a pitch, presenting, do I want them to buy my product? If you are driving an inspirational message, do I want them to feel inspired? If you are driving a motivational message, is there anything that I want them to do? Is there a call to action? And therefore, you start trimming it like that. And before you know it, it will just get to what you want to say. But you have to determine what is priority, what is key, and what you want the call of action to be at the end of your presentation. I hope I've
Right.
answered your question, Carla.
Well, it's my hope that you did, and I'm pretty much sure that you did. I think we would have to perhaps bring our conversation to a close, but there's something you should know. If you're a participant, you can always get the full video of this webinar on YouTube. Same handle, Drive to Inspire Africa on YouTube. So you can watch back and of course, learn more, take more notes if you can. Madam Miss Mmatlali Lucia Motloung, want to say thanks to you. Thank you so much for making the time and sharing your insights with us, your knowledge with us, and not keeping it all to yourself. And that is really selfless of you. And on behalf of the DTI Drive to Inspire Africa team, and also on behalf of our founder, I'd like to say thank you so much for making the time and joining us right here on the webinar. I'm sure your time is almost running out for your English clock is almost running out. So
Yeah, trust me, they're slowly depleting. 10 o'clock, I will not have any English bundles remaining.
So on this note, could we get your social media handle, please?
Thank you so much for that. So you can go to our website, www.lucmowines. It's lucmowines.com. You can also get us on Instagram. It's luc_mo_wines. And on LinkedIn, I am Mmatlali Lucia Motloung. So it's quite a long name. It's quite a tongue
Okay.
twister, but please I did that deliberately. So yeah, and then we also have our business pages as well. Look More Wines. Will definitely find it there.
We move on. There is a very special ceremony we're supposed to host live on this webinar. So if you are still on with us, please stay on. We're going to have a really insightful and, of course, pleasant transition in here. One of the things I'd like for you to be aware of is that we're going to be having a closing ceremony of a very wonderful mentorship program that actually happened, and I'd like for you to be a part of it. So I'll be inviting our founder to give us a remark on this particular closing ceremony on the Mentees program. I'd like to invite the founder, Drive to Inspire Africa, Ms. Nanajwa Hackman. Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hi, I see you. Question, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. I guess we don't have a communication barrier here. We are good, just like
Good
Lucia made it clear.
Good to know. Hello, everybody. Good evening for you. Some of you, it's very close to bedtime, including Lucia. Lucia, yes, you were right. I set out to inspire young Africans, but every single day I get inspired. I get inspired by people like you. I get inspired by our mentees, by our mentors, the people on our scholarship program. And somehow, because of all of you, you all have made this become something that is really beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm really, really grateful. Thank you for accepting to do this so graciously when I asked you. And thank you for sharing your experiences with us from how you, as a young woman in a male-dominated industry and as someone with an accounting background, learned to find your voice and use it. And it's been really practical, very honest, very inspiring and insightful, and we really appreciate you for this. You've also ended by setting the tone for your next webinar with us, so you can be sure that we'll be coming to you to do that one on mentorship. So thanks again. Now I'll go right into the next session, which is our closing ceremony for the mentorship program cohort 1 2026. I prepared something for once. I'm going to try my best to stick to what I prepared. So dear mentees and mentors, all too soon, we've come to the end of another round of our mentorship program, cohort 1 of 2026, which ran from the beginning of March to the end of May 2026. And it was a truly diverse and dynamic cohort with mentors and mentees from 22 countries globally. Countries represented on this cohort, I'm going to mention them, and feel free if I mention your country and you're on here to react, give us one of those celebratory emojis on there so we see you. From Zambia, from Botswana, United Kingdom, Uganda, South Sudan, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Togo, South Africa, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Burundi, the Gambia, United States, Namibia, Finland, Libya, Malawi, Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, and Kenya. So you can see why I say it's become something beyond my wildest dreams. Mentees on this program comprised of tertiary students from universities all across Africa. Our drive to inspire Africa tertiary scholarship beneficiaries and professionals from all fields in the early to mid stages of their careers. And for the first time in the history of the DTIA mentorship program, which set out to be for young women, we had male mentees in this cohort. Very determined and opinionated young men who knocked on our doors and said, "We see what you're doing for young women in Africa and we love it, but we think we should be a part of it. We would love to be included on the program if you would have us." And we did not have the heart to say no. So thanks for making this happen. We have young men on our mentorship program now, and I believe that will continue. Mentors on the program were from diverse professional backgrounds, including academia, business management, administration and HR, technology, data and engineering, media, journalism and communication, healthcare, banking and finance, consultancy, training and coaching, entrepreneurship, fashion, agriculture, sustainability, graduate students, and student leaders, mostly taking care of our younger mentees. So you see why I describe this as very diverse and dynamic. The demographics I have summed up above have helped us to achieve a unique platform where young Africans are not only receiving coaching and guidance to pursue and achieve excellence, but build their confidence and develop their leadership skills. But both mentors and mentees are experiencing cross-border, cross-cultural learning and exposure. Through the one-on-one mentoring sessions and monthly personal development sessions for the entire cohort, we have created a space where young Africans are prepared with the soft skills to improve their chances on the job market, rise into leadership roles, or begin their entrepreneurial journeys. Like all human institutions and endeavors, our program has not been without challenges. Mentor-mentee matching has not always been smooth, particularly in cases where either the mentee or mentor has been unresponsive. Sometimes people believe they have the time to do this, but when we start, they realize that something may have come up and suddenly they don't quite have the time anymore. Unstable internet connectivity and power disruptions have not always made communication easy. We do not have a perfect system or platform, but that will not stop us. We will continue to tweak and work at it and improve cohort by cohort. But I'm happy to say that both through good and challenging or frustrating times, the majority of you have persisted, staying the course and showing true determination and resilience. As always, it has been heartwarming to read the testimonials shared by participants. In this cohort, there have been many, but I will read just a few of them, a few of the shorter ones. We'll be sharing the others, as time goes by on our socials and all that. So first, there's Kagiso Bridget Montley. She's a mentee from South Africa, and her mentor is Esther Lukai from Uganda. Kagiso says, my experience on the DTIA mentorship program was beautiful. I found a big sister in my mentor. I learned a lot of things about myself and how to grow professionally. Next, I'll read Mwangala Mungunda is a mentee from Zambia, and she was mentored by Victoria Babiye. Mwangala says, thank you so much for the opportunity to have someone who I would probably never have had access to mentor me and guide me through a lot of stuff. She was very professional, and I'm just sad it has come to a close. And then one of the young men on this program, Samuel Kampugwe from Zambia. He's a mentee from Zambia, and his mentor is Princess Mwale Shekonyane. Samuel says that the DTI mentorship program has been transformative. It's been a transformative experience for me. It's guided me in moving Mind Over Matters Zambia from a simple idea into a structured and growing organization with a clear identity and impact. Through the mentorship, I gained the confidence and skills that helped me become a CAFI fellow, and I'm steadily growing into a leader of change. Now, how is that? How powerful is that? And these are the reasons why we continue to do this. I will continue from here to our mentees. We are happy to have walked this short distance in your journey with you. We truly pray that it makes a difference. And we wish you well on the next stage of your journey and hope to welcome you back into our community as mentors in the near future. To our mentors, we are incredibly grateful. Your time, patience, empathy, and genuine care for the success and well-being of others is truly inspiring. Thank you so much. And some of you have mentored multiple times on our program and continue to stand with us. I see on there, I see you, Mark Gray, Frederick Owens, our friends from Liberia and from Zambia. Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate you. If it is your first experience mentoring with us, we hope you have enjoyed the experience and we look forward to welcoming you back. Now, moving forward, to deepen our engagement, we've started to create groups based on country, and we'll be organizing meetups with each group. Most of these sessions will be online for sustainability. I wish it could be otherwise, but this is how we can keep it going. But where we have the largest communities and where it is feasible, we'll try to come to you and have our meetup in person. I believe that currently our largest community is in Kenya, and we are planning something around Nairobi. We will network and we'll get to know ourselves better. We'll share more with you about DTIA. We'll respond to your questions. And most importantly, on these mentorship country meetups, we will take your feedback to help us improve on our programs. So at this point, I'd like to pause for now. I'll hand it over back to Elvis because we would like to hear from two of our mentees on the program. We'd like you to hear from them themselves. They'll share their experience, and then we'll celebrate a few of the mentors as well who have come highly recommended, highly commended on this in this cohort, we would celebrate them, and then I'll come back to finish my remarks. So Elvis, back to you for now.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thank you so much. This program has been really exciting, especially for the first cohort that you've just spoken about, and prospects for the next few years, and of course the next few programs. We are looking forward to how great this becomes across the plains of Africa and beyond. So we are all just excited to see what this births. Now we're moving to see our mentees. They have testimonials to share with us. If I have Paul Warner, is Paul Warner on the line? I'm sure Paul has joined us. Okay, and then also we'll move on to Petronella from Zambia. I know I have Petronella online. There she is.
Good evening.
Good evening. Congratulations to you, and good to have you here. Is it evening where you are, right? So good evening to you. Good to have you here this evening.
It's evening here as well. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Petronella Mlenga from Zambia. I just want to say thank you so much to Drive Inspire Africa. And my mentor was and is still mentoring me, Mr. Jeff Opio. He has been very, very helpful. And I must really say thank you so much for the way I was paired, because my mentor was able to guide me through and to direct me in the pipeline of my dreams and my aspirations, the area of specialization, especially that we somehow coincidentally found that the things that he has been able to achieve in life are the things that I want to achieve as well. So his mentorship was really helpful, and he's still guiding me. I'm able to do a lot of things so far that have been very, very insightful from him and my line of work and dream career-wise. It has been a great journey, and I have learned a lot during the webinar sessions with different speakers and the mentor as well that was assigned to me. He has really been grateful, and I really appreciate for that. I was blessed to be paired with him, and he find that he would be able to even give ideas, things that I couldn't even think of. For example, I am a fourth year student, also working, and I also do a lot of, I usually do a lot of social work. There is an orphanage in my area where I also do some teaching, reading skills to the orphans privileged. So I found that does that, and he has been doing that for quite some time. I'm also an English teacher. He's teaching English as well. So it was really, really great that I was paired with him, and he was able to give me insightful guidance and a lot of encouraging segments that I had with him and still have with him, because we still have sessions that we have booked. So I'm still looking forward to that. And it has been easy for me due to that. Then I am very grateful to be a part of this program and happy that I'm a beneficiary, because this is not something that I expected. When I joined, I thought
Thank you so much, and congratulations to you. It's my pleasure and to have you share your testimonials with us. I'm hoping that in the next few days, weeks, into months and years, all that you've learned from your mentor would come to play, and will benefit not only you, but your family, benefit community and the country that you're in. That is a very strong way of impacting the communities that you belong. So, and also globally, we look forward to seeing you impacting the world as you move along. Okay, so I am going to move to having a conversation with Paul Warner, but Paul is not on the line now. He's not on with us, but I think I have his testimonial, so I'll read his testimonial to you. So Paul has been a participant in the DTIA pathway for quite some time. He's had a meaningful experience that has strengthened many of his ways, especially understanding of leadership, service, and practical impact. So we'd like to say congratulations to Paul F. Warner in Liberia as well. He's not present here to share his testimonial with us, but I'm sure wherever he is and all the things he's learned, he will impact the communities that he belongs. So congratulations to Paul Warner and also to Petronella as well. Meanwhile, for now, before we get closer to wrapping up, I think that we have to get some special recognition for our outstanding mentors, 5 outstanding mentors of the cohort 1 cycle. And so I'm going to just read straight from our screen so you can understand who they are. From South Africa, we have Kwesi Obenye. Kwesi Obenye is an executive for risk business banking at Absa Bank, South Africa, with a demonstrated history of working in the financial services industry in South Africa and the rest of Africa. He has a well-grounded experience in advisory, business process, financial risk, enterprise risk management, internal audit services, and risk management. He is a board member for 7 businesses within Absa, both in South Africa and the rest of the African continent. Within the tourism sector, he's a member of the advisory panel for the Africa Youth and Tourism Innovation Summit, the Challenge and Summit panel for the Africa Youth in Tourism Innovation Summit, and also Challenge, where he also serves as a chairman for the summit and a judge for the Innovation Challenge. In addition, he is a board member for the Africa Tourism Innovation Hub. He is a PhD candidate in digital transformation with his thesis focused on AI in banking. He owns the prestigious Ashanti wine brand, which is distributed across Africa. He is the holder of an MBA, Master of Commerce from the University of Witwatersrand, and also he's got a IT and mathematics qualification. He's also permanently based in Johannesburg. So thank you so much for being a mentor. And it's not easy being a mentor because you have to incorporate all your busy schedules and also find time to impart other people around the world, especially at DTIA. Also on our mentorship spotlight, we have all the way from Botswana, that's Bothe Balozwi Wendy Larato. She is a dynamic and result-oriented Bachelor of Social Work, graduate from the University of Botswana with hands-on experience in community development, youth empowerment, guidance and counseling, and social welfare support. She's passionate about social transformation, advocacy, and human welfare. She's committed to empowering vulnerable communities and promoting sustainable development initiatives. Now, Wendy has served in various volunteer and professional roles, including with the Student Development Unit at the University of Botswana and Tiokweng District Council, where she supported outreach programs, case management, and community engagement activities. She has also contributed to youth and reproductive health initiatives through regional consortium participation and schools-based guidance program. She's known for her compassion, adaptability, and leadership. We say thank you so much for mentoring here at the DTIA. And also, we would like to put a spotlight on our mentor, who's from Ghana. She is Esther Tete. Esther Tete is a multifaceted public speaker and youth empowerment advocate dedicated to fostering growth and holistic development as a certified project manager. She specialized in mentoring, evaluating, and also driving initiative towards success through strategic guidance and impactful communication. Now, she's got professional background and also been supporting a lot of people around the world. And of course, her background is supported by certifications in financial literacy and freelancing with a strong focus on professional branding and digital engagement. She remains committed to leveraging her leadership skills to create meaningful social and professional change. I want to say thank you so much, Esther Tete. God bless you for being a part of DTIA mentorship program. And also, let's see, we're going all the way to Nigeria to put a spotlight on our mentor who's been doing great work to impact lives. She is Esther Olamide Ayodele. Ayodele Esther Olamide is a gender advocate, dramatist, educator, and social impact practitioner. She's passionate about empowering women, girls, and young people through advocacy, education, and community engagement. She is the founder of Impact with Global Esther, an initiative focused on leadership development, gender equality, SRHR advocacy, and sustainable community impact. Her work integrates theater for development, mentorship, and advocacy to inspire positive social change and amplify marginalized voices. What an impactful story she's always telling people and also raising them from wherever quarter they are so that they can also become who they have to become. And we'd like to focus on Kenya. We're going straight to Kenya, where we have our mentor, put a spotlight on our mentor all the way in Kenya. Cyrus K. Mbaluka in Kenya. And he is a leadership development practitioner, pastor, entrepreneur, researcher, and communication consultant. He's passionate about mentorship, empowering people, and transforming communities. He's dedicated to mentoring leaders, fostering community engagement, and driving impactful initiatives that promote personal growth, innovation, and social change. He's experienced in ministry, communication, research, and entrepreneurship. He combines strategic leadership with an ear for service, inspiring individuals and organizations to maximize their potential and create lasting impact in society. Thank you so much, Cyrus, for being a part of our mentorship program. We'd like to say thank you and God bless you for being a part of Drive to Inspire Africa's mentorship program. Not only have you touched lives, but you've touched communities, countries, and the world at large with your knowledge, your dedication, and your time. And to everyone else who's been a mentor for the cohort 1 cycle, God bless you so much for being a part of this. I'd like to move on to our founder of Drive to Inspire Africa, who's going to be sharing congratulatory messages and addresses, and also put a bit of a touch on a bit concerning some remarks before we wrap up here. Nana, I think that our mentorship program has been largely successful for cohort 1 cycle, and all our mentors have been really dedicated to seeing how we push forward the agenda of impacting people around the continent of Africa.
Indeed, indeed. The mentorship program never ceases to amaze me, and cohort 1 of 2026 has been nothing short of that amazing. And tonight is about celebration. You know, we thought that we'll end the sessions with that powerful and very practical and insightful talk from Lucia. But beyond that, it's really to celebrate you all, the mentors and the mentees who have really made this program. Those of you who signed up and you saw it through to the very end. We are celebrating you and all the efforts that you've put into this. We applaud your incredible contributions, your resilience, and your determination, not only to improve yourselves, but to improve others. And the amazing thing about the mentorship program is that not only the mentees gain, but the mentors gain as well. And like I said, I, for one, continue to be inspired all the time, and I'm learning all the time from these things. The testimonies that we've heard and the stories of the participants who have been highly rated on this program are a good reminder. They're a good reminder of why we continue to do this. Now, those who have come out as outstanding have been rated so, not just because of the number of times that they met, but yes, you see that for some of them, they met over 12 times, some met 17 times. I don't know how they did that with their mentees, but they really devoted a lot of time and care and attention to this. And it's come out because the impactful stories that their mentees have shared is what has led us to conclude that they were truly outstanding on this program. Now, we'll be sharing them and we'll be celebrating these on our social media platforms, on our website, and in our annual report for 2026. Of course, there will be cohort 2 of 2026 later on in the year from September until November, from the beginning of September to the end of November. So we'll take the feedback and the insights from that and we'll add that on as well to our 2026 annual report. And in the coming days, for those of you who've just finished with cohort 1, you'll be receiving your certificates by email. For those of you in Nairobi, well, luckily you'll be receiving them in hard copy, in person, this time around. A few of you who were not able to start off at the beginning due to some of the challenges that I mentioned earlier will go on with your mentorship for the next few weeks until you can tie things up, and then you will receive your certificates after that. So although this cohort has come to an end, I'd like to say that the journey of learning and self-improvement never ends. Remember that our personal development webinar sessions continue monthly, every single month, whether or not there's a mentorship cycle in session. We continue to do this every month. Follow us, join in, and learn something new. We also have training programs coming up out of our Built for More Institute. So I'd like you to look out for those as well and get involved with whatever program we organize that you'll be interested in learning from. Congratulations to you all once again, mentors and mentees. We wish you well in all your endeavors. Continue to be exceptional. Continue to be exceptional. You are exceptional. Continue to be so. And always remember, as we say at DTIA, that you're built for more. You're built for more, and we're looking out for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elvis. I'll hand over back to you.
Thank you very much, Nana, for the amazing closing on this particular ceremony. Now, before we go, if you're a participant and you're looking forward to seeing how you can be a part of what we're doing here, I want you to go to www.drivetoinspireafrica.org, where you will learn more about school outreach programs, career guidance. In case you want career guidance, you can always sign up. There's mentorship programs on there as well as scholarship programs. So you can always get on the website and get more information there. Also, you can get to our Facebook. That's Drive to Inspire Africa on Facebook, Instagram, X, as well as YouTube, where you can actually get more, especially the full video of this webinar will be on YouTube. So you can look back and check back on it. I am Elvis Crystal. It's been a pleasure hosting this webinar and also hosting you this evening here in Ghana, wherever you are. Good morning to you, and good afternoon and good evening to you as well, wherever you are. We roll out, but look forward to seeing the next webinar next month. And when you check us out on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and get notified as soon as we go on live. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Have a lovely time, and we'll see you next month.
See you all. Thank you and bye for now.